It's the show that magicians around the globe don't want you to see. The Masked Magician is back, out of hiding, daring to expose the world's most highly guarded secrets. You'll find out how they perform amazing appearances, death-defying escapes, baffling levitations, astounding vanishes, mind-blowing sleight of hand, and impossible illusions. No magician is too famous, no trick too big, no secret too sacred. The magician's code will be forever broken on magic's biggest secrets finally revealed. Tonight, the Masked Magician pulls back the curtain and exposes the amazing secrets to making a gorgeous girl pass from one sealed wooden barrel into another, levitating a lovely lady, then vanishing her into thin air, creating a parade of beautiful women from out of the blue. Plus, the tricks that have made street magicians famous. Penetrating a card through solid glass. And surviving underwater without drowning in front of millions for 18 death-defying minutes. And much more, right now, on Magic's Biggest Secrets finally revealed.
For his first illusion tonight, the magician will demonstrate one of the classics of magic. It dates back to the days of Houdini, when nearly every theater in the country featured live stage magicians instead of movies. Originally called Through the Eye of a Needle, the trick uses these two solid oak wine barrels that are secured into sturdy wheeled stands. We'll get to that large bullseye in a minute. Two of the magician's assistants enter, carrying steel rods. The magician takes one and shows us that the rod is solid, and then threads it through the holes at the front of the empty barrel. He takes another rod and does the same. Now for the next rod. As we can see, these pieces of tubular steel are forming a cage-like barrier across the front of the barrel. Now for the last rod. Again, it's solid and impenetrable. The cage is complete. We now turn our attention to the other barrel and another beautiful assistant. Charming. She moves to the back of the empty barrel and climbs inside. Even more charming. Looks like a barrel of fun. Here's where the bullseye comes in. The two assistants spin the barrel and the girl so that the magician can place the solid steel bullseye over the back end. Sealed tight. Another assistant enters with an identical bullseye, again made of solid steel. The girl gives us a wave and the magician seals her inside with the steel plate. It can't be comfortable, but he's had her in much trickier positions than this. The barrels are now secured face to face. The one on the left containing the girl. The one on the right, empty. but caged off by the steel rods. The assistants spin the barrels so that we can see from all sides that there's nothing sneaky going on. From a hole in the top of the left barrel, the girl's fingers appear. The magician has a gift for her, this red silk handkerchief. She takes it. In an instant, it appears through the top of the other barrel. Impossible. Yet, there it is, and there are her fingers. This bears further investigation. The barrels are separated, and there's the girl behind the steel bars, just like a cunning cat in a cage. But how did she get in there? So how did the magician make his assistant travel from one barrel to the next, through the steel plate and solid steel rods, instantly appearing to defy the impossible? Here are the secrets. When the illusion begins, the magician demonstrates that the steel rod is solid and free from gimmicks before he threads it through the holes in the barrel. Notice that he does not show off the second rod. That's the first secret. This rod has been constructed with a spring at the center and two other points, which makes the rod flexible. As he inserts this rod, he's careful to grip it at the center, covering the joint with his hand and preventing it from bending as it's threaded into place. Both of the center bars are designed with these springs, allowing them to be spread apart wide enough for the girl to pass through. Now we know how she gets through the bars, but what about the solid steel bullseye that seals her inside the other barrel? The clever bullseye design conceals another secret. As we can see, there is a circle cut out in the center of the plate. This red and white bullseye plug is held in place by magnets. As we see here, the plug easily pops out and into the barrel. As the audience is distracted by the assistants, I mean by the assistants spinning the barrel, the girl inside is removing the magnetic plug and squeezing feet first through the tricked spring-loaded bars. This is where practice and a willing assistant are critical. These secret angles show her path from one barrel into the next. It's a tight fit, but judging by her costume, she's used to such things. Once inside, she waits for the red handkerchief, which is the key to selling the speed of the illusion. Remember how it went in one hole and appeared a second later through the other? Here's how it happens so quickly. There's a second handkerchief. Before the trick began, the girl concealed it in her very tight costume. We never noticed, but she had it with her the entire time. When the magician hands her his handkerchief through one hole, she's ready with her smuggled handkerchief, poised to push it through the hole in the second barrel. This creates the convincing illusion that the same handkerchief has traveled from one barrel to the next at lightning speed. Now she immediately replaces the painted bullseye plug, and as the magician prepares to separate the barrels, she quickly stashes his red handkerchief through a hole and into the first barrel. The two barrels are separated, and she appears to have passed right through the metal plate and steel rods. An impressive classic trick. And now you know the secrets.
Coming up next, the secrets to an impossible street magic trick that makes a playing card penetrate solid glass. Levitating a lady who disappears in midair. Creating beautiful women in a flash. Then, find out how the magician survives underwater, breaks a world record, and cheats death on national TV.
Here's a trick that was presented by Harry Houdini. In fact, a version of it was performed in a famous movie based on his life. The magician shows an empty table and a black cloth. The cloth is also empty with no gimmicks or hidden pockets on either side. The magician goes to great lengths to prove the cloth is innocent. He makes a few magical gestures in the air and drapes the cloth over his arm. Looks like he's made something appear under that cloth. He puts it on the table and reveals A large fishbowl complete with live goldfish. Amazing. So how did the magician make the bowl of live goldfish appear from thin air just like Houdini did? Here are the secrets. The magician begins by showing us there's nothing unusual about the cloth. There isn't. When he drapes it over his arm, it looks like he's making the fishbowl appear, but he hasn't. From this angle, we can see that he's merely draping the cloth over his arm and acting like something is appearing beneath it. But if the bowl isn't under the cloth, where does it come from? The secret here is in the table itself. This circular tablecloth is concealing the bowl. While it looks like an empty table from the front, from the back we can see the bowl is actually hidden inside this fake tablecloth. When we first see the table, we don't assume anything is out of the ordinary. The magician is quick to draw our attention away from the table and to the cloth. But this table contains another secret. Beneath the bowl is a weighted duplicate tablecloth that is collapsed by means of a drawstring. A simple pull, and the duplicate cloth is collapsed up to the tabletop. This drawstring is held in place by the heavy fishbowl. From above, we can see the string through the bowl. Next, the fake tablecloth is placed over the bowl, concealing it and the small bit of weighted cloth below. When the magician covers the table, he's actually lifting the bowl, releasing the drawstring and the weighted cloth below. He pulls off the fake cloth and reveals the fishbowl. Since the weighted cloth is dropped down to the same length as the fake cloth that covered the bowl, it appears that the table hasn't changed. See? Same size table. But how does the magician dispose of the fake tablecloth? From behind, you can see that he simply tucks it under the large black cloth and then throws it on the ground. The audience doesn't even bother to look. Goldfish surprise, just like Houdini used to make. Next, the magician will present a truly impossible illusion that street magicians have performed on TV. Normally, they pull a spectator out of the crowd, but the magician will use his assistant. I don't blame him. She seems up for the challenge. He displays an ordinary deck of playing cards and fans them for the girl. He tells her that he wants her to select one of the cards at random, asking her to say stop whenever she wants, as he riffles the deck. Stop. And that is her chosen card, the King of Clubs for this beauty queen. She places the card back into the deck as the magician shields his eyes. He shuffles the cards, making any chance of finding her card hopeless. He throws the deck against a solid plate glass window. Miraculously, one card is stuck to the glass. Look at that, the King of Clubs.